Hi, this is Ms. Vanoy, and I am here to tell you all about a contest that is open for any of you all who like to write or do infographics or videos. I want to give you this option to enter this contest, which is for Scope Magazine. Let me show you kind of go through the things that you might need to know. It's about reading an article about SARs rescue dogs, search and rescue dogs, and you'll read this article, and then there's a video that goes along with it, which I don't think the video is actually going to play when I give you the link, but I am going to give you the link. It's called Lost in the Woods. So you'll read this article about SARs rescue dogs, and then you're going to answer with the form of either an essay, a video, or an infographic about rescue dogs. So I went through this, and one of the very first things I want to give you is, let me make my little head smaller here, is I want you all to have the Google Classroom codes. I know a lot of my sixth graders have already signed up for the sixth grade writing class. This is just going to be something, even if you aren't in my physical writing class, when we come back to in-person school or online or distance learning school, this is going to be a resource for you to go and access links to videos, any kind of resources like on transition work, anything that I can think of that you might need help with in your ELA classes or writing in any of your content classes, I'm going to put in this Google Classroom. So here are the codes. You might want to pause it, write down if you're 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, and join that Google Classroom. When we do these writing contests for the Encore classes, I will put all the different forms and links that you might need for the contest on this Google Classroom. So pause right now and then write down your Google Classroom code and get joined in. All right, we're back. Here's what the contest entry form says. This is kind of the long version, and I'm going to show you how I broke it down. After reading the article, you're going to watch the Beyond the Video or Beyond the Story video about SAR dogs. Then you're going to explain why they're uniquely qualified for search and rescue work. So your topic, your thesis statement should be something about how SARS dogs are uniquely qualified for search and rescue work because, and come up with at least 2 or 3 good reasons that you can give some examples for. It says you can do it in an essay, a video, or an infographic. There are going to be 3 winners that are going to be picked, and you're going to get fame, notoriety, and then you're also going to get a free book, Rescue Dogs in Birds, the very first book in the series. I broke it down into steps. Step 1, you got to read the actual article, Lost in the Woods. You'll find this link on my Google Classroom in the assignment. After reading it, you're going to watch the Beyond the Story video about SARS dogs. I'm going to play it at the end of this YouTube video, so you'll be able to see it within this video. Then you got to decide how you're going to, what mode of writing are you going to do? Are you going to do an essay? Are you going to perform it as a video, an infographic, what? And then once you've decided the mode of writing, you've got to be able to answer that question. Why are SAR dogs uniquely qualified for search and rescue work? And you've got to use text evidence from that article. Now, here is a criteria for success. In other words, you can call it the rubric. You got to clearly state that central idea. There needs to be that clear thesis statement, good organization transitions. You need to be writing it in paragraph form, 4 to 5 paragraphs. Use of supporting text evidence. You need to be able to go back and look at the text and find evidence to support it. And then, of course, you've got to have good grammar, spelling, and punctuation because you want to be able to communicate as effectively as possible. Something that I always do when I think about, especially something in a contest kind of format, I want to look at what has won in the past. Like, what are some really good models? Again, if you want to be great at softball, you watch great softball players. You train under the best softball coaches. You want to play with the best softball players. So this is the same thing. You want to go and look and see what's won in the past, what's good quality writing, so I can kind of look at that, not copy it, but be inspired by it and kind of look at the methods that maybe they used. Now here is the contest entry form. At this time, they're only accepting it by email because of COVID-19. You got to be 18 years or older is the person who submits it. I'm going to submit it as your teacher. I'm going to take care of all this stuff. I'll change it in from a Google Doc to a to a Word document. I'll do all this. The only thing that I need you to do is to actually do the assignment, turn it in on Google Classrooms in that assignment if you want to. This is just an optional assignment. And you need to take a picture of that, the contest entry form that looks like this. Let me find it for you. It looks like this right here on the right side, or excuse me, left side. You'll just have to fill all these things out, and there needs to be a signature. Again, this is the book that you'll win, and you'll also get some fame and notoriety because your name will be printed as a winner in the contest, in the paper, and in the magazine. Very important. It's due by October 20th, 2020. So if you want to enter this, I need to have this by October 20th, 2020. That way that I can get it submitted and entered in for the contest before the deadline. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show the video within this Loom, and hopefully that will help in case the video doesn't come up. This is what the article looks like when you click on the link. You're going to see these kind of pictures, things like that. Lost in the woods. Sorry. Here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put full screen and get quiet and shut my face off so that you all can watch this on the screen.
Dogs. They've been by our sides for thousands of years. They've marched with us into battle. They've worked on our farms and ranches. They've been our helpers and our closest companions. But today, dogs also hold a special job: search and rescue. There are many types of search dogs. Wilderness search dogs can locate lost people in a wide area. Avalanche dogs can find skiers buried in snow. And urban disaster search dogs can find survivors after a disaster, like an earthquake, mudslide, or hurricane. To learn about urban disaster search dogs, let's take a trip to the National Disaster Search Dog Training Center in Santa Paula, California. Since it was founded in 1996, this elite program has trained hundreds of urban disaster search dogs. Using their powerful sense of smell, their energy and agility, and their desire to play and be rewarded, these extraordinary canines learn to find survivors after a disaster. To find out more, we hopped on a Zoom call with Denise Sanders, the Director of Communications at SDF. What traits do you look for in a search dog?
Search dogs instinctively have this hunt drive where they just will not quit searching until you ask them to stop. And so when they graduate our program, they've learned to use that skill to find survivors in the aftermath of disasters. They just have endless energy.
Where do you find the dogs that you train?
We comb shelters throughout the United States looking for dogs with these traits. We know that these dogs do not make good pets. We joke that these are the dogs that they won't be sitting on the couch with you watching TV. They'll be eating the couch because they need a job. And so there is no better place to find the dogs that need a second leash on life, as we say, than in a shelter. When a dog first comes to the Search Dog Foundation's campus, oftentimes they've come from situations that might not be so great. However, within about a week or two, oftentimes we see these dogs absolutely transform.
How are the dogs trained?
So the very first day, they learn to bark, and that bark alert is what's going to tell rescuers someday at a real disaster that the dog has found someone and that someone needs help. And so the trainer asks them to bark, and then they get that toy as their reward. And now they get to tug on that toy, and that toy tug reward is what these dogs live for. We're not forcing them to do it, but we're asking them to do it and rewarding them for that. And that is a skill that is both natural as well as learned and honed throughout a career.
What about physical training?
These canines go through basically an Olympic athlete's training regimen to be sure that physically, mentally, they're ready to go. They need to be prepared, and we need to minimize and prevent any injury.
What do the dogs do when they arrive at a disaster site?
Our search dogs have deployed to everything from hurricanes, earthquakes, other things like even a building collapse. The first thing that they're going to do is look at the landscape, listen to the authorities on the ground that are there and they know the situation. And then from there, though, they're going to release that dog in the area that they think is their best bet to try and find whomever it is that they are looking for. Our dogs don't sniff articles of clothing. They don't track people in the same way that sometimes wilderness search and rescue dogs do. Our dogs do what's called air scenting. They are trying to pick up that scent in the air, and then they're going to narrow it down through what we call a scent cone. So if you imagine a cone that's going out from me right here, the dog is going to eventually hit the edge of that cone and zigzag to the edges of that scent cone where the scent is emanating from the human until it narrows down to where I am, and that's where that dog is going to alert.
Being a search dog trainer seems like a rewarding career. What skills does it require?
So there is no set way to become a search dog trainer. The easiest way I would say to gain experience is probably by working at a shelter or a rescue and just kind of watching the dogs, learning through experience, learning from those around you, listening to all the different training methodology that's out there, because there is always someone out there that may not know more than you, but is going to know something different than you and is going to be able to help you through whatever challenge you face.
What about dogs that don't make it through the program?
Not every dog will make it through search dog training. Not every dog is meant to be in this line of work. And if they don't enjoy every aspect of it, we're never going to force a dog to do this. We wouldn't force a dog to do anything. We want it to be fun. And so if a dog really tells us, and they do tell us in their own way, that this kind of work is not for them, they're placed in what we call our lifetime care program. And they are found either a new career, so they still get that outlet. It just isn't in urban search and rescue work. And for dogs that show us, I could be just as happy playing hide and seek in the backyard, we'll find them a loving home. So we say we have a 100% success rate because every dog finds their place.
Over the years, search dogs have helped save countless lives. And the next time disaster strikes, these elite canines will be ready to help.